You can't make this up. Now, we all know, right? McDonald's, share this, please, everybody. Make this go extremely viral for educational purposes only. Now, we know that McDonald's in them, now in California now in a couple of other states have been forced to put the signs on their windows and their doors that let the people know none of this is real food. Okay, we've already established that. Now we know McDonald's is not serving real food, but bioengineered chemicals seasoned to taste like food, right? They settling the lawsuits for them serving human meat. Yes, you just heard me right. Now McDonald's is, wait a minute. If dozens of people were accusing my business of selling human meat to them, I'm not selling nothing. Y'all ever notice McDonald's ain't never came out and denied it a single time? They settle in the lawsuits. Do you know what that means? You've been accused of serving individuals human meat, and you are settling those lawsuits, which means in some ways you are admitting that yes, we know we were selling human meat. Do y'all hear me? When is the world going to wake up and ban? You are being conditioned the same way that they groom little children to do stuff. They grooming y'all to be addicted to that product, that meat. And then when it's gone, you're going to have the taste buds for it, and you're going to turn into savages when you can't get it. Y'all don't even understand that y'all being groomed and conditioned by fast food chains. McDonald's, I want to reiterate and repeat this. McDonald's is settling the lawsuits of being accused of selling and serving human meat. Wake up, people. Wake up.
This is Jeremiah 19:9. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend, and the sage and straightness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being the name for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, our great millstone, that taught us the truth and will well, and salutations to you, hopeful question is truth, and all honesty and sincerity. It's Brother Yahweh Kachanellis, and Spirit Power Yahweh Yahushai. Give another update, end times, and events. Alright, if you didn't know, if you haven't heard about this, McDonald's been doing this shit for a minute, man. The information was leaked out a few years ago that they've been caught having human bodies in certain meat facilities, and all of a sudden that's why they had to come out with a lot of stickers on their stores, and you'll see them say 100% ground beef, and you got peons out there, just because you see a poster all of a sudden that's popped up on the store, you believe that and you trust it, and ultimately you really got to use some common sense and think about it. When you think about it for a minute, how is it possible that they have enough cow production to meet the demand of all these burgers, man? When you go to your grocery stores and they can actually sell out of ground beef, how is it that McDonald's just has a constant supply? Where are they getting all this meat from? And why is it so addictive? Why? Because it's extremely addictive. And When you research cannibalism, that's one of the effects. Eating human meat is addictive. Eating these fast foods. And at this point, Burger King could be doing the same thing too, man. They got Burger King in this picture here. You can't trust none of these fast food places. It's best to try to stay away from it altogether if you can bear it, man. Because you really just don't know what they putting in their foods. Yeah, they got laws where they're supposed to list everything, but they don't give a fuck about that, man. They'll just list it as if it's 100%, but really behind closed doors, it don't be. And this is a curse, man. Eating defiled bread, and the dude said it right. He said once you get conditioned, to tasting something, when that time hits that we just read within that scripture, when the famine hits and starvation hits people, they're gonna turn to cannibalism. You're gonna have people roasting a whole person or a child on a spigot in the days to come, because the grocery stores are gonna be completely emptied. People don't know how to grow food, don't know how to forage for food, don't know about wild edibles. A lot of people, the masses, don't know about hunting and trapping. A lot of people know about fishing, but quickly the local sources of fishing areas are going to be depleted from fish because it's going to be overfished, and they're literally going to fish all the fish out the damn water, around you. So fishing is not going to be too available either, unless you're going extremely rural, way way deep in the wilderness, and you happen to come across a river somewhere. But ultimately, the judgment that's coming is one of the judgments is going to be famine, starvations. When this dollar collapses, that's going to be it for people, man. When the dollar collapses, what that's going to mean for you is that, you know, you may think you have $100 in your pocket, but that $100 is equivalent to 1 cent, and it can't buy you shit overnight, man. That's how bad it's going to be. And also, they're going to hit the power grid. There's going to be EMPs, so gas stations, no electricity to pump that gas up into the vehicles. Gas stations closed. Electric cars going to drain out, run out of battery. No cell phones. There's not going to be any truckers to bring in the shipments to these big superstores such as Walmart and Target, X, Y, and Z, whatever your supermarket is. It's not going to get a shipment for food. A lot of food's going to go bad because the refrigerators are going to be out because the electricity is going to be out. So meat's going to spoil. People are going to break in and just completely clean out these grocery stores and loot, desperate to get food. These are the times to come. So if you don't have the Lord to give you divine intervention to protect you and have you stumble across food, you're done. This is the book of 2 Kings 6:26. It says, "And the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall. There cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If Yahweh do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Right, man. Cannibalism, man. These women were willing to eat their own children, and that's coming back. These especially these freaking wild wildebeests of black women that's out there that's ghetto as hell. They feed their kids McDonald's every damn day. They big as shit, like a walking bowling ball. Addicted to Cheetos and Flaming Hots, you know, just eating abominations. Don't know how to cook nothing in the kitchen. Don't know nothing about being healthy, but just scoffing down Burger King and McDonald's and KFC, all these gluttonous people. They don't know nothing about fasting, don't know nothing about, survival. They're gonna get desperate when their belly button's touching their back. They're gonna try to eat each other, man. This is one of the things that's gonna happen in a time period called Jacob's Trouble, which is fastly approaching, man. It's the book of Lamentations 4:9. It says, "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through the want of the fruits of the field." Right? It's going to be worse. It's going to be better to just die by the sword or basically getting shot than have to die by starving to death. Because when you start to starving to death, that's going to make you do things. And this is why it's important to incorporate fasting in your lifestyle. People have become so conditioned and really trained like a dog to depend on eating a 3-course meal or 3 meals a day. And you miss one meal, the people losing their mind. Oh, I didn't have breakfast today. They get so irritated, mad. Do you know that body fat is your body's natural way of building up storage for the winter? You have a very extremely high percentage of Americans that are obese and overweight. I think it's like 70% now. Your average American can last literally 2 months of not eating nothing and be good. That's how much body fat is walking around these Americans, man. You don't, as long as you got water, you'd be surprised how long you can go. Think about Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights, man. He didn't perish. And we're going to get another count of scriptures where, Paul fasted for 14 days. He didn't perish. Think about, you look in the mirror, man. Unless you're like already extremely skinny, okay, you might not be able to last like months at a time. But hey, you could still be good for a couple weeks. And I was watching a lot of these survival shows, they basically I forget the name of it, but they were just put into the wilderness, and they had to survive like I think 90 days, and then they win like $1 million or something, man. And a lot of people, all them contestants on that show, all of them faced not eating for a few days, and they were still good. One of the contestants of the show, in one of the seasons I watched, I think this dude might have been a Gadite dude. He kind of looked like he might have been Gad, but he acted kind of like a white boy. But he came on the show and he was big as shit. He was really obese, and he literally went the entire show, like almost made it all the way like 70 plus days. Didn't eat a thing, man. I mean, he did eat slakia. He ate like he foraged for like wild onions. I think wild onions was the biggest substance that he ate. Was wild onions are tiny. He was just making onion soup. He found some wild greens, little tiny stuff, man. And was just drinking water. Wasn't eating for a long time. Lost all that weight. And literally it was between him and one other contestant. And he still had more body fat on him to last another few weeks. At least 2 weeks without eating. And the other contestant, was frail. All dude had to do was hold out until the other guy quit. But he quit because he missed his family and ended up blowing the whole win. He would have won the whole show like $1 million. But the point is, man, you can last for a long time without eating, man. And I know from experience. I fasted 7 days before. At first, if your first time doing something like that, it's not easy. I'm not gonna cap. It's not easy, man. The hardest days to get past is the second and third day. Once you get to that fourth day, you're kind of good. You coast. Research water fasting. There's a reason why we got High Holy Day called the Day of Atonement. And the way we honor that is by a complete dry fast. No food, no water, 24 hours. So if you're a brother watching this lesson, you've already practiced that part to get accustomed to it. Now, the hardest part about the Day of Atonement, is the part where you're thirsty. Because you can only last on average maybe 3 days without water. Make it maybe 4, you know? But when you incorporate water, think of how long you can go. And I just put out a show the other day on the benefit of a 72-hour fast. Just how powerful a 3-day fast can be for your body. But it's better get in the training mode and try some type of fast to get yourself acclimated mentally to be able to deal with not eating for a couple days. Or maybe a week. That's very likely. Food is going to be scarce. Now the Lord is going to provide for his elect. The people that believe and serve him, they're going to be provided for, which we can get that as well. This is the book of Isaiah 65:13. It says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." So if you're a servant of Yahweh Shem El Shai, you're going to eat. You're going to eat. But this isn't saying that you're going to be eating every single day. There might be time periods you're going to be tested. You're going to have to be on the move from location to location. Can you deal with being hungry? If you can't last a couple hours, I'm not eating a damn burger. Hey, you really need to realize that you have been manipulated, and you're a victim, and you have an addiction. Food has become a poisonous drug to you, so you're gonna have to go on an extreme fast, man. But we're living in these times, man. The food is defiled. You gotta watch what you buy and purchase. Ezekiel 4:13, and Yahweh said, "Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." Right, man. Defiled bread. So all the food is fucked up. Not just the beef, the ground beef. All of it's fucked up here. It's all mixed in with abominations. Some of the clean stuff is touch pork or touch abominable seafood. They cook it on the same utensils and same grills and griddles, So it's all messed up, But you really gotta watch it to try to control. Make sure you're not consuming no fucking bodies, man, from people. Stay away from these big ass chains if you can bear it, man. You don't, like I said, you don't know what's in it. And the dude just brought out information. They settled on a lawsuit. Means they admitted that they've been doing this shit. They do that. It's not that they need human meat to thrive and keep in business. They do that because it creates an addiction, and also it gives in to the company as part of their sacrificial rituals to Satan. So they're going to dupe billions of people into eating that to get more demonic energy to maintain their wealth and success. McDonald's is the number one fast food industry in the world, man. How do you think they're going to keep that power on top? You don't get no power, no fame in the society, become no type of celebrity or a top businessman anywhere unless you sell your soul in some way, shape, or form. So that's going to apply to all these big ass chains. Taco Bell, Wendy's, Burger King, with some other ones, man. KFC. You got Popeyes. But Popeyes, for the longest time, many years, their cooking oil that they fried their chicken in was pig fat. I think they changed it now, supposedly. But you see, Church's Chicken, all these places, man, when you eat them, when you eat one of these places, you notice you always get the digestive problems, man. It fucks you up. Makes you feel sick, sluggish, because it's poison. All the chemicals in the oil and the meat. can't make the demand. Now chicken, chickens reproduce so rapidly. You can have enough chickens to feed all the U.S. and around the world. But beef, a big ass cow, nah, man, no, not all these billions of people. You know, this is the book of Psalms 55 and 22. It says, "Cast thy burden upon Yahweh, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved." So, the Lord's going to sustain you. You got to trust in the Lord to take care of you. Don't get desperate to become a cannibal in these days. Don't do that, man. There's things you can eat. You know cattails are edible? I'm not talking about a physical cattail from a cat. I'm talking about, when you go to a lake, that plant is called cattail. It looks like a hot dog on a stick. It's right by the riverbanks. Okay, well the hot dog looking part, that part is used for can be used for fire and stuff. But the actual plant itself and the stem and then the root that's in the water is edible. You can eat that. You can eat dandelions. There's another weed called wild plantain. You can eat that. Wild lettuce you can consume. Okay. You got acorns. You take acorns, you put them in a pot of water, you boil them, pour the water out, put another pot of water in there, and you keep, draining it and straining it until the water runs clear. Take the acorns and smash them up, and you can make bread, and just eat the nuts by itself. Tall wild grasses, the grass seeds, you could treat that as wheat and make bread out of that. The inner layer of bark on trees, it's called a cambium layer. It's a thin white skin feeling layer. You could peel that off and you can eat the cambium. You got wild onions. You got wild garlic. A lot of this stuff I'm mentioning is right there in your backyard, man. Right there in your backyard. You could eat clover. Okay. The 4-leaf clovers, you can eat those. Those type of clovers. The red clovers, the white clovers, you can boil those, eat those. Those are edible. And this is just plants. Then in the wilderness, beetles are edible. That's lawful to eat. Grasshoppers are lawful to eat. Crickets are lawful to eat. People are not going to think about eating bugs. But they're going to be plentiful, man. Because like I said, nobody's thinking about that they can consume that. But that's an extremely high concentrated amount of protein. Insects, it's hard to stomach because we're not in this nation. It's not a part of culture to eat, grasshoppers and crickets. But locusts are found in the Bible. John the Baptist came eating locusts and honey. You could eat locusts. Focus on those things, man. Sparrows, the little birds, the little songbirds flying around, little brown ones. Those are invasive species over here in America. You can eat those. You can eat pigeons. That's lawful to eat. Okay, of course, deer. But deer might be kind of hard to come by. These Edomites and these regular people, they're all going to be trying to go for the big game, or that some people consider that small game, but they're going to be going for that. You might not be coming across a deer too often. But there's other things that you can get, man. Quail, pheasants. Get in the woods and get acclimated to what you can get. You can forage for specific wild mushrooms. You're going to have to really do diligence and research on that. Be careful. But mushrooms, man, not all mushrooms you can eat. Most of them are poisonous. But if you can identify the ones that is not, that's a delicacy. There's a mushroom called chicken of the woods, man. It grows on a tree. And it's like, it's yellow and like pink in color. And it's big. They grow in big clusters on the side of a tree. And I'm talking about good. There's things that's going to be available, man. Okay? And if you don't know all that information, good to research it just in case so you have it. It's definitely a tool that's going to help you in times to come. But either way, the Lord going to sustain brothers, man. Brothers going to stumble across doomsday bunkers the Edomites didn't make it into. They died before they can get in there. or the brothers might find their keys and get access to it, and they have all that type of food up in there. You know, the Lord can send a miracle, send ravens to bring you meat and bread, just like He did with Elijah, man. So these are all things that the Lord ways that the Lord could take care of you. Hell, the Lord could even bring you manna again if He wanted to. He could put a spirit on a mountain lion to kill a deer and drop it at your feet. But hey, here, cook this. Give me some when you're done. you know, these are the times we coming in, man. But we definitely living in this curse, living this hellhole here. You got defiled bread, and you got all these people, man, that's just duped into buying it. There being these long ass lines going to get McDonald's, man. Just stay away from these fast food places. It's best, if you're gonna get something, go from stick with a chain that maybe it's not that damn big yet. Get you a real burger, go a local store burger joint if you want to get that. And I got to the place now, man. I went and bought me a meat grinder. I don't too much trust the damn ground beef in the store. All this pink slime stuff, rumors that was going out. So I'd rather just buy the damn steak. You could buy a roast and slice it up in the cubes, man, and go on Amazon and get you a $15 meat grinder. Just turn a handle, man, and just make your own ground beef. But hey, man, just watch it. Stay spiritual. Pray over your food. With that, Lord's Will's lessons edify. I'm going to close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, Natasha's truth and will. And salutations to hopefully pushing his truth and honest sincerity. Shalom.